on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Football in general.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Yo, 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 live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho, brought to you by the Sportscast. Today is January, what's today's date, Byron? January 16th, 2024. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast. 2025. I keep mess up the year so far. 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast on all our channels: YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, X, and all your favorite streaming podcasts. Please leave a rating and a review. Hit the notifications. You can listen to us every week. That'll help us out tremendously. Please subscribe to the Sportscast on YouTube and on Facebook. We stream live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. All right, let's get ready for the show. Mr. Byron Jones, how are you in this beautiful second week of the year?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm sitting here. I get out the Poconos. I come back home, and it's snowing. We got like 2 inches of snow outside right now.
Oh, my God. Mr. Retirement. That's what you put, Mr. Retirement. Look, it's cold. I got a hoodie. I got a hoodie on. Florida State, baby. Well, you got LSU on there, so yes. So it is freezing. It's not freezing here, but where I was today was freezing. But it's pretty cool. It's going to get to 45 next week, Byron.
Wow, whole whopping 45. Wow,
that's cold to us. Man, my bedroom is freezing because we got it cold and it's cold outside. So I kind of like it like that, but it just makes me more tired. So let's get ready. We got a great show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So hopefully we can get this in an hour. I don't know, but I got a lot of energy today. All right, we'll welcome him to our show. One of our favorite guests and the host of the Donut Bag, Mr. Joey Toscano. Welcome back to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk.
Hello.
What's going on? All right, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get to Steelers in a little bit. But let's get to one of our topics of the show to begin with. Mr. Byron, I know you posted this out. We fired the people we don't – first of all, our producer, Santiago, on the Sportscast was questioning why we didn't talk more about firing Shane and Daboll last week. And I told him, he goes, man, Vic, I never heard you like that. There's not much to say. I mean, Byron and I – both said, I think Joey was one of our shows that we can't, one of them are going to be fired if Saquon has a big year. Byron, you stated that if he comes back to MetLife Stadium and puts up 150 yards, they're going to fire one of those two guys. And we were wrong on all accounts. So there's nothing more to say, I told him.
Not really. No, it's a bad organization. Might as well say it. It's a bad organization, bad ownership, bad everything. And, it is what it is. What else can you do? I'm not going to bang my head on the desk, try to, they can do – no. They're going to do whatever they want to do regardless.
That's how I feel. I just think you got to move on, right? I mean, Joey, we're going to talk about your situation. It's almost the same with you, right? There's nothing – like it is what it is, right? You got to decide. Your scenario is it's better than ours. But for me, I just said there was – what are you going to say? I don't want them there. We're still fired, but you know what? You got to deal with the card you have. We got to highlight in our running back in Tracy. We got to highlight superstar that I believe is Malik Neighbors, though you denied it. And we got some opportunity here, but there's still a lot of work to do. And just a little bit on that topic because I don't want to go too much on it because we got a lot to talk about today. I just don't see how these guys are going to recapture that locker room, how they handled the players. So my concern is that, the way you handled Barkley, the way you did Daniel Jones wrong. I just think that's indicative of what are these other guys thinking, right? How are you going to treat me? So you think that could be turned around, Byron?
Yeah. People forget, Saquon was a great player, for them, but they also forget, he was a great locker room guy, you know, and you pushed him out the door the way that they did him, and Daniel Jones was not, he was a good teammate and pushed him out the door. They had a cornerback that they did dirty. I think McLeod or whatever the kid's name is, where they wanted him to take a second pay cut, and he's like, nah, I ain't taking it. And then next they gave him an ultimatum, and he got cut 4 games later just because he wouldn't take the pay cut. It's just bad. And then when you have the owner of the team, what I sent you, that his patience is wearing thin, as far as them being bad. Come on, man, really? His patience should have ran out 10 years ago, because they've been the worst organization for the last 10 years.
He's just talking, because if that was the case, he would have made action, not firing these underlying coaches. Fire everybody.
It doesn't make any sense that Dable still has a job, or even Shane.
Shane is the guy I think should go, because look at Xavier McKinney. Look at all the guys we got rid of that are high performing in the NFL.
No, say it the way it is. They're all pro. Xavier McKinney made the all pro team. Mm-hmm. Saquon made the all pro team. Leonard Williams should have made it. He had 15 sacks. Those are 3 guys right there that went to other organizations that ended up playing at a high level. And look at the train wreck that we still have. But
getting rid of time. Joe, you got any comment on that, Joey?
The only reason the owner did not fire Daboll and Shane is because he keeps firing people, and he just wants some stability. It is a joke. It is absolutely a joke. And they're basically blaming Daniel Jones for why they were so bad last year, which is absolutely a joke. There's like, well, if we get a quarterback, then we'll be fine. Come on. This is just a disaster right now. And after, you guys are right, after what happened with the Saquon Barkley thing, that should have been it. It is an embarrassment every single time, because every single time Saquon Barkley does well, they all make jokes like, ha ha ha, the Giants let him go, ha ha. Right now the Giants are a punchline of a joke, is a laughing stock of an organization, and it's sad.
Then the other thing that I get a battle with, as far as my sister being the trader now, the Lions fans, people try to compare the Lions and the Giants, as far as a progression. When you see the Lions, they got a cast off quarterback, Jared. They didn't win the Super Bowl, they got rid of him. But then with Jared Goff, and what they did with him was they built the offensive line. Then they gave him, weapons on offense. And then their first year they stunk. The second year they had a winning record. The third year they had a winning record. And now they're on the step of getting ready to go to the Super Bowl, possibly. Look at the way they progressed. The Giants are not even close to that. And I get in an argument with people all the time about they need to rebuild it. I said the Lions did it in 3 years. Why can't they? And they didn't go crazy spending money in free agency. They didn't do anything. They drafted well. They put they got the right coach, and they're fine. But it's crazy.
You notice you don't hear much about the GM.
No, he does his job. That's the whole idea.
Mm-hmm. And look at even Ozzie Newsome. I always forget he's the GM for Baltimore, and he's done incredible.
He's not the GM anymore.
Not anymore.
Right, he's retired.
But when? How long ago?
A couple years.
Okay, but he's a guy that was kind of quiet. You know his name when you hear him, but you didn't really hear him. And he built a really good organization there with the Ravens. Right? It's when his name came up, we go, oh my God, Ozzie Newsome, I forgot about that. He did a hell of a job there. All right. Anyhow, let's move on from these guys. I don't want to give them any more time or any more precedent. Like I told him, I had nothing more to talk about. What do you think about the firing of these underlying coaches? I mean, I don't really care because they stunk the team. So I'm not necessarily blaming the coaches, but I guess they got to do something. What do you think the reason is behind this?
Because the DB stunk. You figure the one kid got hurt, Newbin, the one that was playing really well, the safety. And then after that, it was a mess back there. Tate Banks, whatever the kid's name is, he's regressed to where, he's one step, out the door almost because he's played so bad. So is it the coaching or just these guys are just not playing, they just can't do it? Because remember when we had Eli Apple, that's what this guy is. He's another Eli Apple. Banks, and he played well at first, and now all of a sudden he's a mess. He really is.
All righty. Let's keep going here. All right. Okay, we talked about this last week, right? About the parting ways with McCarthy, and then they didn't give him a chance to do the Chicago interview and so forth. Now he's in talks with Dion. Byron, remember we had this conversation that we had one of our listeners make a comment and said we were crazy, don't even think that Dion's no way going to the Cowboys. Right?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
a pretty hateful comment. I was like, that wasn't the narrative of the conversation. The conversation is about him going there and so forth. Now look what's coming up. Right. So remember, listen to Jersey Boy Sports Talk because we talk about a lot of stuff that happens in the future, and we talk about it a long time ago. We had made this discussion about Deion Sanders, and we were saying whether it would be good for him to go or so forth. What are your thoughts about him having those conversations? And then there's another one that I hear that got interviewed. But what do you think about Deion Sanders and the talks of him going to Cowboys?
I never thought he would leave Colorado, because the way he talks, as far as he wants to be a builder of young men, and and just at the college level, I didn't think he would make that jump to Dallas because of Jerry Jones, and it might be a circus. He's going to have this guy over his over his head, kind of. That was the only reason I didn't think he would go to Dallas, but. If America's team calls him and, they throw that number out there, whatever it may be, who knows, he might jump and go to the Dallas Cowboys. But this one I never saw coming.
Joe?
I totally saw this coming. This is a match made in heaven. Deion Sanders and Jerry Jones. It's like a beautiful love story. They've been waiting for each other. They're basically the same person. I have a lot of respect for Deion Sanders. Every level that he's coached, everything he's done, he's been a success, and that is very impressive. And this is just an inevitable thing. You succeed at a smaller college, you succeeded at a higher level college. Now it's time to go to the pros. And remember, he wants to coach his kids. I'm 99% sure of this. He's going to be hired by the Cowboys, and they're going to trade up to get his kid. It's even though his kid's a quarterback, that doesn't really make sense. But still, I think it's going to happen.
Ooh-wee.
Oh man, I just look. I stated the same thing when we had the conversation. We got to pull that recording about. I think he's going to be successful. My biggest concern is Parcells couldn't do it. Now with Jerry Jones, what's going to help Deion do it? Now I think they got a different type of relationship, obviously, but either Jerry's just surrendering or something. But I think Deion will be successful. I'm just concerned. Like we had stated, Jerry Jones is the biggest problem there.
Yeah,
I think the players will listen to him. He's been a winner. He brings attention to the Cowboys that they want. He's definitely going to add more value. He instantly makes an impact on that team, right? I just question, a lot of the media, everyone's been talking about how Joey was saying, but there are a few like me that say Jerry Jones has been this way for 30-something years. You think he's willing to change that right now?
Yeah, but if they sign, or say for example, they signed Deion Sanders, and I don't know, are they in the top 10 as far as with the drafts? They probably are, or outside the top 10. So it's going to be a small mint to move from wherever they are to one to get his kid. Is this kid worth?
He's not going to take his kids. He said what I'm reading now. The reports are saying that he now is okay with wanting to take care and work with Dak. So the package deals no longer exist. I think it was pushing the idea. I think it was also helping him getting some sniffs of being an NFL coach. You know what I mean? But I don't think no longer is the package deal coming.
Yeah, the Cowboys draft 12th.
Yeah, that's an awful high to move up to one. If that was the case,
it's still pretty high for the Cowboys, though.
Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't know.
They're not going to get Shador, and you can't get Shador and have a $60 million quarterback. It's not going to happen. Dak is the quarterback. Jerry won't make those kind of changes. Remember, he's very loyal to the people he drafts. That's the challenge.
Yeah, that's starting to be a problem.
Mm-hmm. And he doesn't have a lot of space, so it's not like they're in a great position. Well, anyhow, what about Robert Saleh? I understand Robert Saleh also has interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys.
He ain't going there. I don't see any coach going there that wants the owner over their shoulders all the time. I get like
We
a
say
Kellen.
that, but you're going to get an NFL position. You're going to take it.
Nah. I don't see like the guy in Detroit, Johnson. I don't see him taking a job like that.
Ben Johnson, right?
Or Glenn from with them, or Joe Brady, and those guys. I don't see one of them taking that kind of job. If they want to take a job just to say, all right, I'm one of the 32 jobs in the whole world, to be a head coach. Yeah, they're gonna go for it. But a guy like Robert Saleh that has a little taste, as far as being a head coach, and then knowing how Jerry Jones is, gonna be hovering over top of him with everything. I don't. That's not a Kellen Moore. Yeah, him. No.
Jerry Jones is 82 years old. I don't know how long he thinks he's going to live, but he might be thinking, listen, this might be close to the end for me. I think I want to work with people I like, my friends. I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know if it's Dion. I don't know if it's maybe another former Cowboys person or something like that. I don't know, but I think that's why they got rid of McCarthy. It's like, I just want to be with people I like. And who knows who's that's going to be, but whoever it is, it's going to be high profile, and we're all going to say, "Wow," whoever it is. And that's not Saleh.
Yeah, because the other thing they threw out, I read that today, was that one of the conditions with Mike McCarthy was that they would have the heir apparent was going to be Jason Witten, to get him to be on the staff, and when it's time for McCarthy to go, that Jason Witten would be the next guy. But he's coached at the high school level. He's won back-to-back state championships where he's been. But going from high school, most of them can do it, but high school, to be the guy of the Dallas Cowboys, that's a big step.
So there's talks that it's also a play for Sanders to get a better deal at Colorado, because interesting, there's a three-prong approach. They're saying the three dominoes have to take effect. Is one, the Cowboys got to buy out Deion Sanders' contract from Colorado.
$10 million.
Number two, they would have to make a move to select Shedeur at number 3, trading Prescott while eating $103 million in dead money. Jerry ain't gonna part with $100 million.
What they could do is, you say Jason Witten would be the coach in waiting. They could say Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback in waiting. Dak is not young, and I don't know what kind of deal he signed, but maybe have Sanders wait a year or two before becoming the quarterback.
I think Dak's contract is, I think it's 5 years, if I'm not mistaken.
He's at least into the second year of that one, at least.
No, this was his first year.
What, on this contract? No.
Yeah. All right. He has a 4-year, $240 million contract.
There you go.
Okay. The average annual salary deals guarantees the Richardson contract, 204 years. So I think this was his first year. How many years left in Dak's contract? The deal was tacked onto the 1 year remaining of the 4-year and which signed. He's going to make Dak Prescott 2004 season will make a salary of $1.25 million, along with an $80 million signing bonus.
Must be nice.
There's no way. That's just way too much. Maybe 2 years from now they could get rid of him, but that is way too much of a cap hit to get rid of him right now.
Yeah, and you're not going to pay that money and just sit here waiting. The Cowboys ain't going to do that. And I think Shedeur is going to want to play. All right, well, let's move on. That's too much. Cowboys and Giants, I don't even want to talk about that. McCarthy, I don't care about interviewing the Bears. All right, let's get into the playoffs. Let's first get into – we got the Commanders. Hold on a second. The Commanders and the Bucks. That was an interesting game. That could have went either way. I'm happy for Washington. Bucks, I don't know about Baker Mayfield, but he's a guy I just don't trust. You know what I mean? I just like he's one of those guys that you don't know what you're gonna get, and it just seems to always I don't know. You know, they gained. Washington Commanders had a 310 total yards, and Tampa Buccaneers recorded 295. But it didn't seem that way. You know what I mean? It was just a weird game. And Jaden Daniels, you got to give him credit, man. He looked good for a rookie in a big game like that, bringing him back to win. I mean, he did a great job. And then that turnover late in the game, that hurt him. It just didn't go right for those guys, which was kind of sad. But I'm happy for Jaden Daniels, and I'm happy for Dan. And it's Dan Quinn. No,
Yep.
Dan Quinn. There's an example. Look at the guy's first year wins a playoff game. I mean, these other guys aren't even winning one playoff game.
He's a New Jersey guy. Don't forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn.
Joe, what do you think about the Washington Bucks game?
The Bucks did nothing wrong. They're a really good team, and they just happened to run into Jaden Daniels. I don't know what the stat is about rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs, but it's really bad. Like rookie quarterbacks never win in the playoffs.
You know, he's like one of three that won playoff.
Yeah, and here's Jaden Daniels. He is that special. He is a superstar in the making, and it's just fun to see. It's just fun to see when you have just a new guy come in and just make a splash like he's done this year. The Washington is just going on such a wild ride. It's so much fun. And I mean, I don't know what's going to happen against Detroit. They'll probably get destroyed, but still, it'll be fun.
Yeah. You know, I just think Baker Mayfield kind of sometimes reminds me of Romo. Like there's always something that happens that messes him up. You know what I mean? Because he played well coming in, but you know that fumble was the end of it, and that was if that was in the first quarter, it wouldn't have happened. But happened in the fourth quarter, that really put a damper on it. So let's go for the Commanders. Happy for the Commanders. Here's a good one. I'm sure we haven't heard from Eric yet. 32-10 Packers, Eagles versus Packers. That was not an impressive win for me.
No,
Byron?
No. For some reason, they just look like out of sorts, you know, as far as their passing game. You know, they ran the ball, you know, he had 119 yards or whatever he had. But for some reason, the passing game is like out of sorts. And, you know, it was weird when A.J. Brown was sitting on the sidelines reading a book. That's how...
That was awesome.
How you gonna be sitting there reading a book, man, in the middle of a game? Like, yeah, he's reading the book, you know, like he's bored, you know, with the book. And, you know, I'm just hanging out here, you know, until the end of the game. He just seemed like, you know, just he wasn't interested, or he just didn't want to blow a gasket. And I guess he figured he'd read, you know, Tony Robbins' book of knowledge or whatever he was reading.
It wasn't Tony Robbins. I'll get it to you in a second. Good. I know who it was.
But the passing game just doesn't seem right, except for, you know, when Goddard stiff armed the guy, you know, all the way down the sideline. But, you know, besides that, they weren't impressive at all.
Joey?
Oh, sorry, I was reading this book. I wasn't paying attention.
Don't do that on my show.
I know A.J. Brown, that's for sure.
He was reading Inner Excellence.
You know, sales of that book like shot up like 5
million.
million.
It's the number one seller on Amazon.
So, hey, good for him. Good for him.
Time out. You know, not the guy needs money, but you know what he should have did? He should have like did an underlying Amazon link, like to buy it from his bookstore. Those pennies would have added up.
So funny. No, actually, I think this is an impressive win by the Eagles. The Packers.
You thought it was impressive?
Yeah, the Packers are good. The Packers are a super team in the building. I think they're really young, but for the Eagles to just neutralize them like that's really impressive. Hey, you know, a win's a win. No matter, you know, even if it's not exciting or something like that, they did what they needed to do, and it was still impressive to hold the Packers down.
Yeah, they were dropping like flies in that game too. They had a lot of wide. They lost like 2 or 3 wide receivers. A couple linemen got blown up. They got beat up, like pretty bad, you know, by the Eagles. A lot of the Packers, a lot of them got hurt.
Yeah, but I thought the Packers were in it until the end, and I just didn't. I mean, you're not going to – I don't think – I mean, I could be wrong. I think, you know, look at Barkley had over 100 yards, which bothers me because you know he would have had 100 yards in the Giant game, and they should have went for the record, in my opinion. I'm still on that, right? But the deal is there is, AJ Brown had 3 targets. That's it.
And that's why he was reading that book.
You got to get now. They were showing like Orlovsky and Dan Orlovsky was showing like how the coverage, they did do well coverage, but you got to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball to your guy. You got to let them make plays. I mean, I can't. AJ Brown, that's a problem, right? I think they're gonna. If they rely on the run, I think it'll be good. But it was just not any. They had a turnover, but it wasn't a sweet win. I think the Packers played well defensively. I guess I'm looking for a dominant win. It's going to be a tough journey, right, going through here. So we'll see. I like what they see. Hey, I'm a Saquon fan, so no matter what, I still want to see Saquon do well. I know you don't, Byron, but I want to see Saquon do well, even if it means the Eagles winning. But I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens. I get, if they win ugly and they win the Super Bowl, hey, I'll take it. Because our two Super Bowls with the Giants with Lawrence Taylor, they were impressive, but we won, right? But I guess I'm looking for. You kind of want a dominant team if they're gonna win. No, you don't like that little squeaking out just to win. I want to see someone that dominate. So. Let's see what we have on some of the numbers. With the Eagles, look at the Eagles' defense was formidable, right? And Jordan Love and intercepting Jordan Love in the end zone. By the way, the D-backs for the Eagles are playing really well. They didn't have last year. Would you agree, Byron? Or for the last couple of years?
No, they shored it up a lot with them 2 young kids back there.
They played well. The Eagles had 350 yards with a balanced offensive attack. The Packers had 280 yards, but they had the turnovers would hurt them. So we'll see what happens there. But hey, good luck for the Eagles. Congratulations to the Eagles moving on, and let's keep going. Here's the game for Joe. Joe, what is going on?
Do we have to? Oh, dude, my God.
Guys, your defense just got eaten up. They gave up 464 total yards, of which 300 of those were rushing. And, TJ Watt was nowhere to be found. I mean, that team is, Russell is the highlight that was there, but your defense, in my opinion, they've been missing for several. You guys lost 5 or 6 games in a row?
5 in a row. Yep.
5 in a row. You guys are, we don't talk about it much. And, as much as I love you and the Steelers and Tomlin, but you guys are pretty much mimicking the Cowboys of one and done.
But yeah, Steelers haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. They keep making the playoffs, and then it's just first round exit every single time. It's not just that they lost this time; it's how they lost. The Ravens, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson just ran it down their throat. They out physicaled the Steelers. It was just embarrassing, and that's just sad. You want to go out if you go out, you want to go out, blazing. You want to go out trying as hard as you can, and they just got destroyed. It was sad. Not enough is being made of the lack of efforts by that Steelers defense.
On both sides of the ball.
And the offense, yeah. It's pathetic.
What happened? Is TJ hurt? TJ Watt hurt? He had to be hurt because he ain't hurt nothing for days.
He hurt his ankle really bad about 5 weeks ago against the Eagles, and he has been not the same since. He's basically like the past 4 or 5 weeks, he's just not registered any stats at all. No tackles, no sacks, no nothing. He's really done nothing. He was playing hurt, and he was basically useless.
Man, it was bad. 300 yards on the ground.
Complete domination. It was just pathetic.
Oh man, it was bad. Look, as much I was enjoying riding high that I was right on the Russell Wilson and all that. Now I couldn't have been more wrong. At one time we thought they were a legitimate shot at the Super Bowl, and man, we were wrong. I had you on the show when they beat Bengals. Was like, we need offense. We put up points. Remember,
right?
We need this. It went out the window after that series.
Everything
like-
looked good. They were 10-3 at one point. They were challenging the Chiefs for the #1 seed, and then they just fell apart. And it was just, I don't know if they got tired. I don't know what happened, but it
You
was.
guys
just
should have spent more
sad.
money on another receiver, man. Because
Oh,
the
yeah, that
receiver,
was
what's his name? George Perkins. Is it
Um,
Pickens?
um
Pickens.
Pickens. Yeah.
Okay, he's really good, but he's one guy. Without him, you guys are done. And what did you think about his comment? Do you have any enthused? Is there any hope? He goes, no. Are
Yeah.
you excited? No. I mean, he says what he said. He feels.
He's been an immature brat all year, his entire career with the Steelers. I don't know whether they're even going to keep him at the end with his rookie deal. But yeah, that was the poison pill. The thing that really killed the Steelers this year is they never got another wide receiver. I think they were
He had
trying
the
to
money.
get. They had the money. They were trying to trade for what's his face at the 49ers wide receiver that signed with them. I forget his name. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk. They were trying to get him, and I think they were going to get him, and they put all their eggs in that basket. And when they didn't, they were screwed. And that just killed the offense. They had no other weapon besides Pickens, and and Russell Wilson he looked great at times, and then he fell apart too. He was making mistakes, fumbles, interceptions. I don't know what the heck they're gonna do. Whether they're gonna keep him or Justin Fields or what, we don't know yet.
Well, did you guys even get Justin Fields in that game?
He played for like a couple snaps. That's just it, which is sad too, because Justin Fields could have been a weapon, but I mean it didn't matter.
Well, let me ask you a question though. You guys have a history of problematic receivers though.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of
I mean, they like go to the Steelers and they get crazy. Like, they're become major divas, and it's not like you guys are always just high-powered offensive receivers. Like, you always have running. You're well balanced, but it's like
they get them crazy. It's not that they become crazy. They
you
get
select
them crazy.
but that's the guys you're selecting, though.
Yes,
something's in the makeup of those guys that you're selecting.
Because it's that crazy ex-girlfriend thing. You see a girl and she's really pretty, but she's not all the way there mentally. And you say, you know what? I can fix her. And that's what the Steelers do. They look at a problem wide receiver.
Don't do it.
And they say, I can fix him. And you know what? And and to a certain point they can. They got a lot out of Antonio Brown before he went absolutely crazy. There's been a couple others that just did not do well. So they get them to a certain point, but still, Pickens is far beyond gone. He is just not a mature professional.
Didn't the Steelers, Deontay Johnson, didn't they have him at one time?
They did have Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson was as you see with every other team, he has such a bad attitude. And the Steelers.
So another one with the bad attitude.
Another one with the bad attitude. Yeah. The Steelers traded him. They could not wait to get rid of him last offseason, but they never got somebody to replace him.
He went to Baltimore, then he went somewhere else, and then he just got kicked. And
he got traded to Carolina. Carolina traded him to Baltimore. Baltimore got rid of him. He got picked up by Houston, and he got mad because he didn't have enough catches in a playoff game. Like, bro, you just showed up that week, and now I'm like he could have really helped Houston, but he's just way too much of a bad attitude.
Well, Pickens is only 23 years old, man. I mean, he's 6'3", 23. The kid's a player.
Oh, he's amazing. The catches he makes are amazing.
He's only 23, and he's got 3 years in the pros.
Oh yeah.
He's averaging, his career average is 16 yards, right? He's got 1,000 yards last year, 900 this year, but he doesn't have a lot of TDs.
No, he's had some bad luck with touchdowns. He's had a lot of touchdowns, but they got called off for some reason. He had like a foot out of bounds or something like that, or some goofy thing happens. But I mean, he also had he had the misfortune of playing with Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky and whatever other crap quarterbacks they've had. Russell Wilson is really good at throwing that deep ball, and that's George Pickett's specialty. So they had a really good year this year.
Well, let me tell you, your defense is really what kills you, because you guys were 6th in the league in 2023 and went down. You jumped 6 spots down.
It's the most expensive defense in the league too. They spent more on defense than any other team, and look what they have to show for it. It's
Right.
it's
We'll come back. Well, let's get back to the
pathetic.
Steelers before we go. I want to talk a little bit about Tomlin. Let's get into the other ones. This one was super disappointing. I did not see this call. I think we all picked the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And it was let me tell you, Herbert only threw 3 interceptions for the year. He threw 4 in this game. Now a couple of them were balls that were tipped, but it was just bad. I mean, it was bad. I got to give DeMarco, the coach for the Texans, he did a hell of a job defensively. I wasn't expecting this. Remember, Byron, we were talking a week before that they weren't playing like they played last year. Like I didn't fear them. And, we thought Green Bay would do a lot better than they did, and we thought the Chargers didn't, and they reversed. So good for the Texans. I mean, good for the Texans. CJ, Stroud played a hell of a game. Their defense were killer, and a couple bad bounces, but I just, I was surprised by Harbaugh team, and I was surprised by Justin Herbert in that play there. What are your thoughts?
They got just beat up front. That's what it was. The Houston Texans, defensive line, man, took over the game. That's what it was. And, the Houston have 2 good corners. They got, Stingley, the one kid, and Lassiter. I think Lassiter is the other one. They got good corners, so they could, go man up and let these guys rush, one-on-one. And they were winning their battles, and they just beat them up. And you would never expect, a Harbaugh team to get beat up like that, as far as like the defensive line. And then Herbert he was just all discombobulated. He was running for his life, a couple times, and he just wasn't that franchise quarterback that everybody expected him to be. That was just a bad game all the way around for him.
I'd give him a good grade, though, the Chargers this year, to come, like Harbaugh's first year, to get where they did and play at the level they played. I give him credit. I just was not seeing Houston taking this game and beating them down 32-12. I mean, I didn't see that, but they had 2 pick sixes, right? That kind of has 14 points right there. But I wasn't expecting that. And good for the Texans. Good for Houston. We wanted to see these young teams play well. I thought the Green Bay Packers defense have played really well. They just didn't win. These 2 teams these are 2 young teams. They're going to be good for a while. Right, but they got to keep stacking up, because the league itself, the teams are just getting better. I mean, look at all the wins. The teams that are in it, they got a lot of wins. That's right. We don't have a lot of 9 and 8 teams, or 10 and 7 teams,
or 8
right?
and 9 teams.
Right. I mean, we got teams. All these teams are winning records and lots of wins. So, Joe, any comments on this one?
Yeah, the like Byron said, the Houston defense is really good. They have a killer defensive line, great cornerbacks. But the Chargers, they're just a year early. Victor, we love to say that the Chargers used to have the worst coach in history. Well, now they have one of the best coaches. They went from the worst to the best, and look what a difference it made. Chargers had no business being this good this year. You got to wait for Harbaugh to get his people in, and for them to go this far is really impressive. Chargers are going to be really good in the future. It's just not their year this year.
I still say that ridiculous coach that didn't get to that playoff game robbed Justin Herbert from a playoff game experience early in his career. He just needed to feel what that felt like, because it's a different world, right? It's a new game, a new era. It's go home. You got the bright lights. Everything was there. And I think you rob a guy from any experience. And he robbed the whole team, not just the quarterback. You had the whole team from having an experience. That was 3 years ago. And look at how Herbert performed this year. 3 interceptions the entire year.
Well, he's always been like that as far as not throwing a lot of interceptions, though. He's always been.
But he had a great year coming on the court. Remember, he wasn't playing as well on the Staley.
Well, he knows now he doesn't have to throw for 5,000 yards every year, because he's going to get a running game. They're going to get better receivers, because Quentin Johnson, the number 1 pick, is awful. The ball hits him in the hands, it bounces all over the place, and once they get a couple receivers and a tight end, whatever, they'll be back.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's the one right after following up the Chargers, same conference, Bills and Broncos. Man, the Broncos look great driving down that first drive. Bo Nix was on fire. Sean Payton and everybody was all excited. My fraternity brother John was probably super excited. They go all the way down, score once, and it was gone.
Yeah,
They
that
got
was over
blanked
quick.
31-0.
That was, I don't know. I expected it, to be a better game than what it was. That with Sean Payton, all the experience he has, as far as checking to the playoffs. He won a Super Bowl and all this other stuff. I didn't expect that. I saw when Denver went right down. I was like, oh man, it's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a good game.
That's what
And
I thought.
next you know, they just got steamrolled. The rest of the game. So
But I'm happy because I'm not a Sean Payton fan anymore. What he did to Russell Wilson, I didn't like. And so I'm not a Sean Payton fan. So I'm glad the Bills did that. I'm glad Josh Allen is playing. They haven't picked the MVP yet. So this weekend is, two top MVP contenders go head to head. So now let's see what we got. Joe, what you think about this game? The Bills look good.
Yeah, the Bills are elite, and the Broncos are a team that just barely made the playoffs. But this is another thing about it's impressive that Bo Nix progressed this far, and he's one of the better rookie quarterbacks, and that's their future is bright. It's just not their year, and the Bills are just way too good.
yes.
Well, Josh Allen passed for 272 yards and 2 touchdowns. Right, they accumulated 426 yards. The running back Cook had 120 yards. I mean, these guys they held the Broncos to 255 yards. Most of that came on the first drive. So the Bills were dominant. They haven't gone back. So they've been playing pretty good football coming into the playoffs. It's going to be interesting to see AFC. Now, the one we've been talking about for quite some time is to see what happens. Oh man, Mr. Sam Darnold, he looked bad. He looked. Listen, Byron, I am a sports fan. I think I'm very knowledgeable, astute for the game. I am not a professional NFL player, much less a quarterback. I was very happy to see a guy like Sam Darnold resurrecting his career. He's still going to get paid, but he's losing like 12, 15 million a year because he doesn't perform. He's still going to be in the 30 million stuff. So it's not like it's going to hurt him. But my point being is that you don't have to be that intelligent or astute in the game if you just know the basics of quarterbacking. This guy was holding on to that ball. There was no reason to have 9 sacks. None. I got bad knees. I don't even have to. I would have thrown the ball away several of those times. 9 sacks. I think it was 7 or 8 in the first half. Okay,
Yeah, it was a lot.
He was holding that ball. Longer than I could ever imagine. And he was holding it so long that you would think a receiver would get open. I couldn't believe he was taking those sacks. And then that sack before the first half, that put it away. It put it away. They went down and scored. They weren't holding back. And I had said, because I was listening to this, the Rams were the team that people didn't want to see. They got a potent offense with a really good quarterback. Like, they were hoping teams were hoping they didn't get in the playoffs. As they get to the playoffs, they're dangerous. They're stacked with receivers, like running back, good defense, a great coach, an excellent quarterback. But man, Sam Darnold, 9 sacks, a lot of that was him. Now, granted, the defense was coming at him. He was getting a lot of pressure. But, maybe you guys could shed some light. But for me, half of those sacks, he could have thrown the ball away. There's no way on a 4th down and 2 that you should take a sack. Throw it out. Get grounding. I don't care what you do. Get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball. He's got a strong arm. You can't throw that thing far out of bounds. I have no idea what was going through his mind. You're just sitting there looking and waiting. A sack is coming. You're holding it too long. Joey?
the main when you analyze a game, almost the main factor in determining what happened in a game, you just look at the lines. You look at the offensive line of the Vikings crumbled, and the Rams have this crazy good defense. Like, I don't understand this Rams team, how they have such a good defense and just such a good team overall. They are geniuses over there. That Sean McVay and that staff is amazing. But yeah, it's all on the line. Darnold could have gotten the ball.
The narrative for me was, do you think those 9 sacks were because their defense was that great, or there's a percentage of those sacks that there was no reason for him to hold the ball that long?
When you have 9 sacks, that's you're right. That's not all on the line. That's a lot on the quarterback too. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with Darnold these past 2 games, but yeah, he is losing a lot of money.
Yeah, but do you think maybe that the play calling has something to do with it? That they're running longer pass patterns. That they're running, they're going deeper down the field. You got Jefferson and you got Addison and you got Hawkins. Why aren't they running crossing patterns? Shorter patterns. These guys can take it to the house no matter where you throw it.
They've been doing that all year.
It doesn't make sense where you want to get the ball to these guys' hands. They're the playmakers. He's dropping back. The line is kind of shaky. They're running 20 and 30-yard pass patterns down. You got 2 seconds to get rid of the ball. And that's
why didn't they adjust? Why they saw that it wasn't working? You're right. Why didn't they go to a shorter game?
Yeah. Why didn't they? They just kept dropping back, and he kept getting dropped. Shorten up the pass patterns and get the ball in these guys' hands. Even 10, 15 yards. Boom, out. Get the ball in his hands. But
Byron, Byron, you're right. Let's say they were running. Byron, but come on, Byron. The average ball, he held the ball. It was Darnold held the ball for an average of 4.7 seconds.
Yeah, because you got guys that are running 30 or 40 yards downfield. They're running. These guys are running deep patterns. They're not running the short stuff.
You need to get rid of that ball in 3 seconds max.
4 seconds. Someone ain't open. Get rid of it. His feet. He was trying to get out of it. Just throw the ball. The kid's got a strong arm.
He started seeing ghosts like he did in the Jets.
Yeah, that's what. By the way, I heard that don't confuse that the Rams have 2 of the best young, really good young edge rushers.
Yeah, Verse from Florida State.
Yep.
They're supposedly 2 of the best edge rushers. They're the youngest talented edge rushers in the league.
Yeah, Verse, rookie. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, so I mean 4.7 seconds. Brian, 4.7 seconds. Dude, that's a lot of time for a line to block.
Shorten up the pass pattern, the routes, man. That's when you get the ball out your hands. They should know that.
I understand that, but let's say he didn't do that. There's no reason he should have done that on average for 9 of those sacks, Byron. It was terrible. I mean, the last 2 games. Look at what Detroit did to him, though.
And they've been doing the same thing all year.
And Detroit's missing pretty much most of their defense.
About 12 guys.
And there's only 11 at play.
Yeah.
So I mean,
if you saw a couple of the sacks that he had, he turned into them. When he came out, and he turned like 2 or 3 times. He just turned right into him because that guy was on him that quick.
Byron, 4th but on the quick average 4 seconds. That's a long time.
Running deep patterns. That's the only way.
I understand that, Byron. But 4th and 2, you're taught 4th and 2. If nothing's open, get rid of it. Do not take a sack. You don't take a sack on 4th and 2. I mean, you teach Pop Warner kids that.
Yeah.
4th and 2, quick pattern, and you only need 2 yards. There's no way they were running deep patterns on 4th and 2.
Knowing them, they probably weren't.
But then that was just stupid. And that coach is good. I like that coach. I'm not gonna, but something was wrong there. Either he's calling, I don't know, Darnold. I mean, he's gonna get paid, but
he lost a lot of money.
He lost a lot of money. He's gonna still make a lot of money, but at least Kirk Cousins played well all throughout, just didn't win a game. He didn't get 9 sacks to play that. I mean, this guy played 2 key games really bad. Yeah. I mean, 2 back-to-back games that were when it mattered. he played bad. Winning the conference, first round. You can't get any more important games there.
But you figure, okay, after the Lions beat up on them, now the next defensive coordinator has a roadmap as far as what to, what's going to affect them. So all they did was whatever, Aaron Glenn did, with the Lions, they just transferred it over to, with the Rams. That's all he did. And, they probably did a lot of man, rush, outside to contain him, but Aaron Glenn.
Remember, that's a great point. We always say that. We gave him a roadmap.
Yep.
But there's got to be some element to it that it also gave the Vikings coaches a roadmap not to take, a road not traveled, right? Because we always say, hey, they just exposed, they just gave a roadmap to the other team. But you had to say, holy shit, that road ain't working for us. Don't take the same road against another team with great edge rushers.
It's like, hey, we failed in this. How can we fix this so that we don't fail at this again? So
don't take the road that there's traffic.
Maybe they figured it wouldn't happen again.
That was the roadmap for disaster.
The Rams weren't watching that game.
Not only did it happen to NFL record books. 9 sacks in a playoff game, I believe, is a record, isn't it?
It might be. That's a lot.
If it is now.
That's a lot of sacks in one game. That's Joe Burrow sacks.
He saw ghosts, man. He saw ghosts when he was with the Jets. I'm
seeing
ghosts.
And what do you do now with him and J.J. McCarthy?
J.J. McCarthy's the guy.
J.J. McCarthy's the guy.
I don't think Darnold's going to – you think they're going to re-sign Darnold?
Not for no 30, 40, 50 million. They're not.
He's going to get at least 30 million, Byron.
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Okay, all right. Will the Vikings sign him?
No. You got Daniel Jones as the backup. They got him next.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the way their offense is made, because they did well with Kirk Cousins, replaced him with Sam Darnold, and did well, right?
Well, look what they have. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league. Jordan Addison's very good, and they got Hawkinson. And usually they have a good offensive line. Any decent quarterback will excel in that system. Yep. And usually O'Connell is a good offensive mind.
Just not this week.
Just not these past couple weeks. No.
Well, look, Jordan Jefferson is so good that he's going to get his, and he still does. Like, there's no roadmap to him.
Right.
All right. So, I think that they, it's going to be interesting where Sam Darnold goes. Daniel Jones is back. I think Daniel Jones would do well there, to be honest with you. Those deep patterns, Daniel throws a good deep ball. Right. But we'll see. I mean, the J.J. McCarthy, see how he lands. But it was, I can't say I wasn't expecting 9 sacks. But I did want to see Sam Darnold be put in a game that would test him. And he delivered what he did against Detroit, and then it got worse with the Rams, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting this beatdown from the Rams.
And you figure with the Rams having to travel, and play down in Glendale, that probably, it throws you off, as far as, certain time you want to sleep, you're doing this, and, they had to uproot everything and go down there, to get ready for a game was basically a home game for them in Arizona. And there were more Viking fans there, if anything.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, we got a few more topics to go on. You guys want to hang out a little bit?
Sure.
All right. So let me ask you, this is a good one, because I'm going to go over the preview for the games, all right? But I'm going to end the show with that, okay? So I want to ask you guys this question, because this is coming up. Who needs a ring more, Lamar or Josh?
Both.
Well, you got to pick one and make your argument. You can pick one. I'll argue the other side. Don't matter. Byron?
Lamar, especially if he wins a third MVP championship, third thing. He needs to win a Super Bowl, to justify him being one of the best, ever. That discussion, he just has to win a ring. Has to.
Okay. More important, who needs the ring more? Okay, good. Joe?
Josh Allen is 6-5 in the playoffs, which is actually very impressive. Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, I believe, is 2-4
Yeah, I think
or
it's
something
Super
like
Bowl.
that. So Lamar needs it more. Oh, I'm sorry, he's 3-4 in the playoffs. Lamar needs it more because he keeps. Most likely, it's going to be Lamar winning the MVP, and that will be his third MVP, which is insanely impressive. But if he does not win, he will be known as, oh, okay, you do well in the regular season. You put up all your stats in the regular season, but you can't get it done in the playoffs. So yeah, Lamar needs it more.
Also, remember, he can't have an excuse. He's got Derrick Henry, too. I think, okay, Lamar, I would agree, but I could make the argument for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's case, the Bills have made it to the to the Super Bowl, what, 4 times and never won a ring, right?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. So I think Lamar needs it to solidify. By the way, if Lamar gets it, think about it. If Lamar wins the Super Bowl, this will be a great feat in the fact not only he would be the MVP, but he went through Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that is a path that should put you on the Mount Rushmore as it is, right? You're talking about going through the best of the best. Because I think right now, as quarterbacks, they're the best 3 quarterbacks left in the playoffs. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Yep.
Who's better than those 3, Byron? Jalen Hurts isn't. Jared Goff isn't. Who else is there?
Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford.
I mean, he's playing well, but
Matt Stafford ain't better than those 3. Matt Stafford's phenomenal, but he's right now. I don't think I would rank him 4th.
Yeah,
I would rank him 4th, right? Because I don't think Jaden Daniels is there yet. You got Jaden Daniels, you got Goff, you got C.J. Stroud. Yeah, he's definitely. I would put him 4th, right? So, but I think it's important to Josh Allen too. I think right now, the MVP should be selected after this game, in my opinion. They should determine this game, even though it's for the regular season. This is when it counts. This is when you can't ask for any more. 2 guys that are neck and neck for the MVP going up against each other. I think this should determine who wins the MVP.
This might be the first time that the number 1 and the number 2 candidates for MVP are going against each other in the playoffs, which is super exciting.
It's going to be 14 degrees in Buffalo.
That's nothing. That's a summer day.
Please.
Yeah, but Baltimore.
Give me 2 feet of snow, then we'll talk.
That's why they need to run, right? So I hope it snows there. That would be make it even more interesting. I love when I see the snow and they got to clean up the snow there. But anyhow, okay. So we got Lamar has it that needs the Super Bowl more. Will really solidify himself because he's a phenomenal player. I think he's playing some of the best ball and he's doing what I've been wanting to see for a long time, which is what. Passing the ball, not just taking off and running to the line like Mahomes. All right. Will the Chiefs three-peat? Joe?
I just can't think. I just can't believe they're gonna win. They're just not that strong of a team. I just can't believe that they keep winning. All year they've been winning by 1 or 2 points every single game, almost every single game. My goodness, they just look so vulnerable, but they keep winning. It would not surprise me if they won that 3rd one, but I just can't see them going against. You know what? If they go against the Bills are going to beat them no matter what. But then again, they are at home. I don't know. This might all be inevitable. This is maybe it is. Maybe it's just going to be all for nothing, and the Chiefs are going to win again. I don't know, but they just look so vulnerable.
Byron,
3-peat? No, just flat out no, because they've had a lot of time off. I understand that they have, get the kinks worked out, people that have been hurt, whatever. I said, but it's still some time off. Everybody else has still been playing. And they have had a whole bunch of close games. And I think it's finally going to catch up to them where somebody's going to come in Kansas City and knock them off in Kansas City.
It might be the Texans.
It might be.
If they win this game, this will be their 8th straight, I think, AFC championship game.
Not bad.
8 straight. Not bad for a coach that got kicked out of Philly.
No,
Uh-huh.
he got fired. It's a difference.
Kicked out, fired, same thing. What's the difference? Fired from Philly. And so I'm happy for. Remember when we were happy for Reed to win his first one?
Yeah, long time ago.
Okay, and he did pretty well with Alex Smith, right? But I don't know. I think there's something about that Chiefs team, man. It's just they're playing good football in the playoffs. Let me see.
Yeah,
They're
every
they're
AFC
playing-
championship
playing
game since
good in the playoffs.
2018 has had the Kansas City Chiefs.
Damn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here, let me just go look at the playoffs. NFL
I think
playoffs.
the young boys gonna come in there and beat them, man. Houston Texans.
Oh my God, we're gonna talk about that next. I do
I
not
can see that
believe.
coming.
Yeah, Byron, you just like to stir up stuff because
Yeah, I
you
know.
know
You gotta
you're
see
lying. Okay, that means you're picking Texans then.
Yes, I am.
Okay, everybody heard that. Here, let me see. Jeez, the Chiefs.
Oh, and the Eagles.
Did the Chiefs even play?
We forgot about the Eagles. The Kobe Dean is out for the rest of the year. The linebacker that was playing really well.
Wow.
Torn patella tendon, so he's like done.
I think the Rams are going to win that game.
Wow.
Which game?
I think the Rams are going to beat the Eagles.
Shh, don't say that too loud. Eric may pop up.
Look at the Chiefs, man. They won 29, 10, 27, 19, 21, 7, 19 to 17, 19, 17, 30. Yeah, they were in close games. They lost against the Bills. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't answer that. I have a hard. Let's see. Who's going to AFC? Yes, I could. If they get to the Super Bowl, I believe they win it. I won't bet against them. That's the bottom line. So let's see what happens. All right, let's get to the picks right now since Byron already started. Byron, Texas Chiefs.
Man, come on, man. I'm going with the Texans.
Texans.
I'm going with the Texans. Them two young boys, the Ed Rusher, Will Anderson Jr. from the University of Alabama is going to get after him. I forgot the other guy's name, but their defense is going to have a field day against the pitiful offensive line that the Kansas City Chiefs have. Pitiful.
Joe?
The Texans visited the Chiefs, I believe, about a month or two ago, and the Chiefs beat them easily. And I think the Texans are going to learn from that. However, I think the Chiefs are still going to win. It'll probably be like 22-20 or something like that. Some crazy fluke 1 or 2 point win.
I think Spags is going to light up the young boy. I think the Chiefs. I feel the Chiefs. I'm not going against Mahomes. Remember, I was 1-3 last year, so I'm not going against Mahomes. I'm just not going against Mahomes. I think they're going to win. They're going to be rested. They need to rest. Kelsey needs to rest. I think they're fine. I think to win the game, I don't think there's a question that the Texans come in. I was surprised that Texas did what they did against the Chargers. I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs.
They're on a roll.
Commanders at Lions. Byron, I'll let you go here since that's a family game.
Come on, man. I'm going to be a hater like I've been. I'm picking the Commanders in a close game.
Oh my God! I can't believe you. You're a
Detroit.
flip flopper. You were all Detroit last year, and now you're going against them.
I'm going with the Commanders. They're going to beat the Lions in Detroit. Yes.
Calls up, Bears down. What's going on, Ron? Thanks for going. I'm a new sub. Hey, what's going on? Ron, thanks for joining the show. Hey, Joey, who do you have?
The Lions are a team of destiny. They're destined to go to the Super Bowl. This is it would not surprise me if Washington won because they are just Jaden Daniels is just on an amazing run right now, but it's not their time yet. It is the Lions' time. They're going to the Super Bowl. Lions win.
You talk to my sister. You talk to my sister.
I'm gonna go with the Lions. I don't think the Commanders are ready yet. I don't think they're. I think the Commanders, they're a good team. I just think they don't have that next level yet. I think them squeaking out against Tampa shows. Some of the games they won too shows. I think though if it comes down to the fourth quarter and it's a close game, I think my money's on Jaden Daniels, but going into it fresh, I pick the Lions. I think the Lions are destined to go to the Super Bowl as well. Rams at Eagles. Joe, I think you made your pick before.
I'm taking Rams. I think they're going to shock the world. They're playing really well right now.
Yeah, they are. Byron?
Picking the Rams, and then Nick Sirianni is going to get fired on Monday.
That would be so bad. I can't believe how
It would not surprise me one bit.
I just, I am. I'm going to stick with my Eagles for Eric and just for Saquon Barkley, but the Rams are scary. But the Eagles need to wake up. They better do what, Byron? Turn that switch.
Turn the switch.
Turn that switch on, because you don't turn that switch on, you got a problem.
You'll be sitting home with me.
They need to start. They all need to start listening. They don't even have to read it. They can go to Kindle and download it. They need to listen to Inner Excellence in the locker room before the game. By the way, that was pretty funny pulling out that book. He also could pull his book out so he doesn't misbehave either. Maybe give him some concentration. But I'm picking the Eagles. I want to see I would like to see Barkley make a run. I'm still upset that they didn't let him get the record. I think that's going to be a wasted opportunity. If they don't make it to the Super Bowl, they wasted Barkley for not getting that record. Any thoughts on that, Joe or Byron?
They want to win the Super Bowl. An individual record is nice and it would be impressive, but they're going for the Super Bowl. They made a mature decision to do that. They're saving them for the. What if he went for the record and he got hurt?
Make it to the Super Bowl, or they don't even make it to the NFC Championships, I think they wasted. That's what my point is.
But you don't know that. You don't at the time. You don't know what you're going to do. But you're trying to make the Super Bowl, not just go for a record.
You're right, but you know it now. So therefore, you better get there. You rested him. You didn't get it. All I'm saying to you is, if you don't make it at least to the NFC Championship or even to the Super Bowl, I think you wasted an opportunity for your offensive line, for your offensive team to do something that hasn't been done in 20-something years. I think that's why they have to win.
You're right. They better win.
They have to win, because then you wasted that opportunity for your team to be able to remember, hey, I was the offensive lineman when I was a receiver when he broke the record. I broke the record. I broke it against my team. I did it in fashion. They dissed me on something that's there forever, on Hard Knocks. I mean, it's terrible. That's why they should have let the record. That pressure would have been off. Now let's go for the Super Bowl. But Byron, any thoughts on that?
You always got that, little thing in the back of your head where he might get hurt. That because you figure if he needed 100 yards, he's gonna have to carry the ball at least 20 times, at least 20. So you want him
against the Giants?
It doesn't matter. You don't think the Giants would have keyed up on him? Not to break the record. Dude, we had a running back when I was in college. Michael Gunner was 5 yards short of the conference record or whatever it was, and we were playing a team that the guy held that record. From back in the day. Man, they keyed up. They put like 10, 11 people in the box, and he missed the record by like 3 yards. So if you don't think the guys on defense are thinking about this, like that, they don't want that to happen against them. So they'd have been on him. I'm just saying, as a defensive guy,
he put up 129 yards against a good backers defense.
Yes.
Okay. And he had 25 carries. He probably would have needed half of those against the Giants. He put up 200. How many yards did he put up against the Giants?
A lot the first time.
Exactly.
But you don't think that those guys in the back of their mind don't want that record broken against them. As a player, a defensive player,
exactly. It's a matter of pride.
About that. Pride kicks in. And they're not going to let him break that record. He wouldn't have got 100 yards. I don't think he would have. They'd have pulled him before he got a chance.
Hold on. I'm looking for something here. I'm looking for what he did when he played the Giants.
He had a lot of yards. And he sat out.
He had only 17 carries, Byron. He had 176 yards in 3 quarters.
And whose fault is that?
He only needed 10 carries.
Yeah, but okay. Now listen to what you're saying.
10 carries.
Listen. Now say if he kept playing, and what he should have broke the record. Then without having to play the last game. If that's his fault, he came out of the game with the job. Oh, I don't
He's
want
the one that decided. Remember,
he decided that.
No,
He
he
said,
wouldn't have put up 100 more yards. He would have put up maybe a 50.
Nah,
He
he'd
would
have
have
put
put
up
100.
the way he was running on them. He'd have put up another 100 on them easy.
Yeah, that's a lot of carries in one quarter.
Easy.
I don't know. I just that's my feeling. I'm gonna stick to it there. All right, so the last game I think we have here is Ravens at Bills. That's a big one. Byron.
To justify, him winning the MVP, Ravens, they have to win. Have to.
But are you picking them?
Yes, I'm going to pick them.
Okay. Joe?
after what the Ravens did to the Steelers, I have to say Ravens. Derrick Henry is having almost as good of a year as Saquon Barkley. That's how good he is right now. He's almost unstoppable. What the Ravens offense is doing right now between Lamar and Derrick Henry, they don't even need their number one wide receiver is hurt. Doesn't matter. They're just all running attack and you can't stop it. They're just on another level right now.
Okay. I am. Let me see here. James Cook ain't no joke either.
Nah, he's pretty good. Ain't bad at all.
He's putting up some numbers. Hold on, let me see what his numbers are here.
Bills finally got smart and they got physical. They figured out that they're a cold weather team and they should have a good running game. So yeah, they're formidable, but still it's basically a one-man team. And that means Josh Allen has to be Superman.
He's got 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's averaging 4.9. He's a hell of a play. I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go opposite everybody. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think Josh Allen is going to will himself to that victory. I'm not convinced that Lamar. I'm not convinced Lamar can go deep into the playoffs yet. He hasn't done it. I think this is his best shot ever because of Derrick Henry. But sometimes I think the coaching there, as much as I like Harbaugh, they're weird. I mean, how many times have I said to you, Byron, "Oh, you got to rest him"? Like they don't give Henry the ball a lot.
Todd Monken.
I don't trust their offensive game plan. They want to put it in. Sometimes I think they go into making it a Lamar game, like making it Lamar having to do something to win. There's something that happens to those guys that they outsmart themselves. Didn't we talk about this last time that they outsmart themselves?
We talked about this last year against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Their whole game plan changes.
Yeah,
it's like the makeup of the team.
They played the opposite of what they did all year.
What they normally do.
Todd Monken, just remember that name, the OC.
Yep.
I'm just saying to you, I just think they go in and they force it to where he's got to throw so many times. They don't run the ball, both from Lamar's perspective to with Derrick Henry. So let me see what Derrick Henry is. I don't trust, and I like Harbaugh. It's kind of weird. It's weird. You don't trust the coaching, and then yet you still like the coaching.
You know what he does?
Henry's got 1,921 yards.
He psychs himself out. He says, "I know you want. I know that you want that. I want to do this. You know that I want to do this, and I know that you want to do this. So I'm going to do the opposite, even though it goes against what they usually do. He psychs himself out."
Yeah, I just that's the only thing with me. I don't know what we're going to get from the coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I fear that they just don't go to what makes them successful. I mean, because if I go here, look at the Ravens. In the last game, Lamar Jackson had 15 carries. That's a lot of carries for a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Henry had 26. Byron, you and I argued about that last time. He was getting 13. You got to rest him. Bull crap. You better not rest him. That guy has to have 20-something touches in this game for them to get a chance. Henry has to run. There's no time for tomorrow.
And there's missing a receiver, Zay Flowers. I don't think he's going to play. I think he's done.
That
was their number one guy.
Their number one guy. Yeah.
Is it Mike Andrews? They're tight end. What's the Andrews? Is
Mark
the tight end.
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
Mark Andrews is a player. He's a good player. So anyhow, that is the scoop for today. I know we went a little bit long, guys, but there's a lot when the playoffs come to talk about coaching changes. Hold on, I want to end it one more because we got Joe on the show. We don't always have Joe in the show. Joe, before we tell us about how we could talk to you about, tell me a little bit about Mike Tomlin. What's happening there? Do you think he leaves? Do you think they go? Do you think they need? What do the Steelers need to do, both from a Tomlin perspective and from an organization perspective, to get back to getting past one game in the playoffs?
Steelers fans are angry. They are fed up. They're tired of the same thing every year, and they blame Mike Tomlin. And they've said, okay, this is what we do every year. We do well in the regular season, and then we fail in the playoffs. We don't even win one game, and they're tired of it. The ownership, the organization, however, they're fine with it because they're paying him a lot of money, and they don't want to get rid of that. So they're going to keep him, and it's just the same thing over and over again, and it's sad. What are they going to do about it? Basically, the entire thing about the Steelers is they're broken because they don't have a franchise quarterback. Look at all these teams that are in the playoffs right now. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mahomes. Steelers don't have anybody like that. They don't even have an average quarterback. And until they get that, they're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. It is impressive that Tomlin can take a team with lesser talent and make them get to the playoffs. That is impressive. But that's the ceiling right now. We go 9-8, 10-7 every year, and then we lose in the playoffs. And it's just sad, but nothing's going to change because the owner is not going to get rid of him yet. So we're stuck with it.
Wow, they must all be related.
Yeah, the Rooney's talk to the Maras. That's how they get the advice.
No, but my question is, what do they need to do? That's the question. Okay, I understand what you're talking about. Okay, do they need to get rid of Tomlin, right? Or do they need, tell me what you think they need to do. Do they keep Tomlin, get a new quarterback, get rid of Tomlin, and get a new quarterback?
They should get rid of Tomlin. They will not. So,
okay, I'm asking you,
unfortunately, discussing it is just so they're going to keep Tomlin. But what they need to do, somehow, they took a chance on Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. That didn't work out. Maybe they'll stick with Justin Fields. We'll see. I doubt Russell Wilson is going to stick around. So either they get someone else like a Derek Carr, a Kirk Cousins, God forbid, Aaron Rodgers or some stupid thing like that. Who knows? Maybe they'll go that route. Maybe they'll draft someone. I don't know. But they need that quarterback because without it, they are done.
Interesting. So they need a quarterback. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. Now with Tomlin, do you think he leaves? Do you think they get rid of him? Do you think he leaves on his own? And do you think he would coach somewhere else?
What the end game for Tomlin, if this continues, is I think he has like 2 more years on his contract. His contract will run out and he will quote unquote retire. The Steelers will never fire him. You'll never see a thing that says the Steelers have let go of Mike Tomlin. What they'll do is Tomlin will resign and he'll quit for a year, go into be in the TV analyst thing. He'll do that for a year, like Sean Payton did, and then he'll come back and coach another team, and who knows what will happen then. But you'll never see a headline that says that Steelers fire Mike Tomlin. They'll just let the contract run out or whatever, but they're not firing him.
And do you think okay, Tomlin is a guy that's going to just decide, hey, he loves the Steelers too much, and just try to walk away gracefully. That's what I think. Whether it's this year or not, I think if that's what it comes down to.
At some point, even the ownership is going to get tired of no playoff success. And it's going to be like Andy Reid. Andy Reid failed in Philadelphia, and look what he's doing in Kansas City. Tomlin can go somewhere else and succeed, but it's just not working out in Pittsburgh.
That's true. But you know that Chuck Noll's record was dismal after those Super Bowls, and they kept him from. I mean, Tomlin's never had a bad season. Chuck Noll had a terrible season.
Chuck Noll was bad for almost the entire decade of the 80s. He was basically, after all those Super 70s players retired or left or whatever, it was just bad for almost all the 80s. And you're right, they kept him on. But Chuck Noll was there from 1970 to 1990. He was there for 20 years. Mike Tomlin is approaching 20 years. This will be his 18th or 19th year. So he's been there almost as long as Noll. Bill Cowher before him was there for, I think, 15 years or something like that. Eventually the message gets old. He lost the players. In this last game against the Ravens, they got destroyed. They didn't even put up a fight. That's on the coaches. The coaches didn't motivate them properly.
Yeah, it's sad to say, but I mean, it's almost like you're happy for him during the season and you're just not happy for them to be one and done. I mean, it's getting to the cowboy talk where we always talking about one and done. I mean, Pittsburgh is there. It's just, we like making fun of Dallas, but it's sad to see, and it's just the way they got beat up this last game. They got beat across the field. So I don't want to go back over that, but again, I just wanted to get your thoughts. All right, Joey. So I really appreciate you coming on the show. Joey, the host of the Donut Bag. Tell us about your show, Joe, and how can they listen to you and get a hold of you?
The Donut Bag Podcast, now live on the Sportscast Network. Usually Mondays at 7. Sometimes it might change, but yeah, we are live, baby. We've had our second show live. It's awesome. We get a nice audience. Love it.
Oh, awesome. Oh, sure. I mean, shoot. Awesome. So Mondays at what time again? And it's live now, right?
It is live, 7:00.
7:00 on Mondays. All right, great. Well, appreciate you coming on the show, Mr. Byron Jones. Glad you're back from your 9 millionth vacation. And yes, I got to follow you up. When are you gonna invite me and my wife to the Poconos, man?
Y'all are not ready for cold weather.
It's okay, man. You got a big place over there, don't you?
I would hate to see you come up there and you shivering and freezing and stuff.
I can handle Poconos. I haven't been to Poconos. I can't remember, man.
It ain't changed.
It's snowing up here. You can't handle that.
Yeah,
I can handle snow for vacation. I can go in there and chilling. What I can't handle is when I'm like in and out, going to visit people, getting in cars. When you're at Poconos, are you in the car a lot? Or are you in the place just chilling out?
No, I stay inside. I ain't messing around.
Okay, see, so all that stuff, he's inside.
Yeah, it was a little chilly. Come on, man. Could you picture seeing me snow tubing or getting on the Come on, man. Come on. Really?
What is there to do in the Poconos? It's not like you can ski. What do you do outside of what do you do?
Go to a distillery they got up there. They got a bunch of wineries up there. They got a lot of nice
in the
stuff.
cold?
Yeah, you got to get in the car and go drive to it. Yeah, in the cold.
Oh my God! All right. So you go to a wine place in the cold in the Poconos.
Yes.
And you drink wine.
Because I sit there and I go to the bottom of the hill and watch the knuckleheads coming down on the snow tube.
Oh, so they snow tube there.
Yeah, right up on the hill. Yeah, Pocono Mountain, right there.
Oh, that's
you can
funny.
see it. I mean, it's a big mountain. It's not like it's a little mountain. It's a big mountain. I was like, nah.
That's funny. All right. So tune into our show, the Jersey Boys Sports Card, live every Thursday. What time, Byron? 8 p.m. 8 p.m. live stream on YouTube and on Facebook. Please smash the like button if you like our show. Please come and join our show. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, DM us on the show. We'll let you in. Make sure you can talk some good football. Gentlemen, as always, a pleasure. Stay safe. God bless, and have a prosperous, blessed 2025. Peace. Talk to you soon. Bye. All righty.